Hello, my Bill for Thousand Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another That Chapter. This one is titled, When Genius College Kids Share a Disturbing Something. Obsession, 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 obsession. All right. I'm excited for today's story. If you guys are as ready as I am, go ahead, turn them lights down low, put on something comfy, cup with something special. Let's get intrigued. Yeah. Intrigued.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, a mother was up early one morning, getting ready for work, and as she was about to head out the door to start her day, she decided to check on her 13-year-old daughter to see if her daughter was up and ready for school before she went. But when she went to check on her daughter, the door was locked. This immediately to the mother was, worrying, and so she started trying to bust her way in, because the door was never locked. When she got in, the room was empty and the window was wide open. Little did anyone know that her daughter had been talking online to a Dr. Tombstone, and Dr. Tombstone was not alone. Before we get into this old video, please click that little old subscribe button to see new videos every single week. Now, let's give it a go.
Yeah, this is gonna get fucked up, ain't it? Damn. Y'all suggest some really messed up ones here lately. I love it. Thank you.
So this old story takes place in Blacksburg, Montgomery County, Virginia. Population a little under 55,000. One of the more notable places near here is Virginia Tech University, which, it's pretty famous for something you don't want to be famous for. Overall, though, it's a nice little place in a nice little part of the country. Blacksburg is dominated by Virginia Tech. Essentially, it's a college town and ranked, wait for it, as one of the best college towns for brain gain. Give me some of that brain gain, y'all. If you want to learn a little something about tech, it's off to VT for you. Virginia Tech, I'm awaiting my check. Pretty cool place. But it certainly was not. Right, on the morning of January 27th, 2016, my friends.
Oh, shit.
That was when Tammy Weeks went into her 13-year-old daughter's bedroom to check on her before she left for work, something she did every morning. Typically, a reassuring, sleepy Nicole would be in her bed. However, on this morning, Tammy struggled to open her daughter's door. They didn't have locks on their bedroom doors, so Tammy immediately went into Mama Bear mode and shoved as hard as she could, only to find that Nicole's bedside table that had been pushed up against the door. Nicole's window was also left wide ass open. Her phone and a minion blanket were also missing. Not only was this incredibly worrisome and a frightening sight for any parent to see, what was even equally as worrying is that Nicole, as an infant, she'd had a liver transplant, so she needed to take medication twice.
Oh, shit.
2 times a day. Her medication was still in her bedroom.
Oh, shit. That's
Nicole
not
Lovell
good.
was born May 3rd, 2002 in Radford City, Virginia, to Tammy and David. She was lovingly referred to as Coley by all those who knew her. Nicole's parents were never married, and her father left her mother just weeks before her birth. Nicole was born with a damaged liver and underwent a liver transplant at the tender age of only 10 months. That's why she needed her medication. Anti-rejection drugs she needed to take twice a day. Now, Nicole was a happy, cheerful young girl, but her mother would also say she was bullied in school. The scars visible from her many surgeries, kind of left her open to attack by those real, little shitty kids.
Yeah.
That we all love to hate. Kids suck, like many who, struggle with it.
Man. That's shit, man. I'm not saying that I was a perfect kid. I didn't pick on people. I didn't. I generally didn't. The way I see it is, and I thought this from a young age. I was born with heart problems, so I've always been kind of on the bigger picture mortality frame. So kids are shit. I never picked on anyone. I didn't have no right to, I have enough problems of my own. And I really didn't want no one picking on me. I was going through a lot of shit. Like, Why make it harder on someone? The only thing they're trying to do is live their fucking life. I hate it. I hate it.
With acceptance, though many teens, Nicole, not finding it difficult in the real world with her school friends, not that she had any, she turned to the internet, to make friends there. And friends she did. Specifically, she went onto an app called Kik Messenger app. The Kik Messenger app was known for helping users stay anonymous. No valid email or phone number was required to sign up. They also made a public statement that targeting younger users was one of their business goals. You can probably guess what happened next when you're targeting kids. Other people who also like to target kids kind of dove right in. See, Kik is still used as, a vehicle for a lot of nefarious acts, sex trafficking. People who, like I'm young, would also be in there. In 2016, one freaking sex offender was caught, and there was like 200 groups of these little sex offender rings operating on Kik. The goods and bads of privacy are like right there on display. One hand, well, hey, nobody wants to be tracked, so that's great. On the other hand, people who maybe should be tracked, like child predators, they can kind of operate with impunity. It's like one of them swords with the two edges or something. Anyways, the night before she disappeared, Tammy said it was like any other night. Nicole kissed her goodnight, went into her own room. One regret Tammy had, though, was that usually just before she went to sleep, she would knock on Nicole's wall, to let her know that if Nicole wanted to get into bed with her mother, that was okay. That night she didn't. For some reason, she just decided against it, and she kind of regretted ever since.
Damn.
Now Tammy was left with an empty bedroom, an open window, and a 13-year-old girl missing. When she called the police at 7:15 a.m., they immediately went into action. Simply because, a missing child is always horrifying, but also she was in dire need of her medication. Time was a ticking.
Blacksburg police are searching for a missing girl they say is in danger.
13-year-old Nicole Lovell was last seen at her family's Blacksburg apartment about midnight last night. When her mother went to wake her up this morning, she was gone.
We spoke to Nicole's mother and uncle today. They say their girl, who goes by Coley, has always been happy. They say she loves to sing and to dance and has always wanted to be a contestant on American Idol. Her mom, Tammy Weeks, clutched Nicole's favorite stuffed panda bear as she pleaded with her daughter to come home or that whoever is with her would bring her back safely.
Investigators pursued every lead, and when Nicole's friends mentioned she'd been talking online with an older boy and referred to him as her boyfriend, Nicole's mother was disturbed and shocked. While searching Nicole's room for leads, investigators found a piece of paper taped on the wall in her closet. It was the usernames and passwords, if you can believe it, of all her online accounts. So then, police contacted Kik to release whatever user information of anyone Nicole had been in contact with. And Kik came true, fair play to him. And police noticed the last communication with Nicole before she disappeared was the username Dr_Tombstone. Well, on January 30th, 3 days after Nicole vanished, Dr_Tombstone was brought in for questioning. They were able to trace him via the IP address he used to log into his Kik account. Dr. Tombstone, aka 18-year-old Virginia Tech student, David Eisenhauer. David was a freshman at the university, taking engineering. He was a tall, lanky kid, a little bit awkward, but he was also star track and field runner on his high school team.
Okay.
We went the distance to tell you about one of the greatest distance runners this state has, and his name is David Eisenhauer.
I make my personal goals achievable, or just out of reach of achievable. That way I'm always constantly striving to better myself. If that goal becomes a record, or if that goal is past a record, or records get broken in the process, I consider that like a milestone goal, but that's not where I ultimately want to end up.
At the station, now David did admit he'd been talking to Nicole about a month before, and he basically said he'd been talking to someone who's 5 years younger than him. When he's 18 years old, is that essentially he was bored. He was just just bored. Started randomly chatting to anybody he could. He also said that Nicole at the time told him she was like 16, 17.
Bro, I don't give a fuck. You 18 years old. You talk to my 13-year-old kid. I find out about you will not have a 19th birthday. Wait, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. Okay. I didn't say that because if it ever does happen, I don't want to be looked at first. Give me time to make up a good alibi, at least. No, I did it. I'll admit it. I don't give a shit. No. And she's got liver problems too, bro. Like, that's gonna make it 10 times worse. Oh my God, I would kill.
Team.
I'd just like to help. Mid-December, if I remember correctly, I was bored in my dorm room and logged on to a website where you go and you just talk to random strangers. It's an anonymous kind of, the website is called Omegle, if I believe correctly. Okay. And then she's like, hey, do you want to use message me on some app called Kick? And I was like, sure, whatever. We're talking, and she's like, yeah, I'm 16 or 17, I do not remember the age she said.
They spoke daily until David admitted they had arranged a meetup on the night of January 26th, interesting date, and he had driven to her place to pick her up. However, when he pulled up, he told police that he saw she was much younger than she had previously stated, so he left immediately, headed back to campus to hang out with a friend. He said he didn't even get out of the car.
I get there, and then I see someone who probably looked like she was 11 years old climb out of a window, and I was like, not for me.
This young lady's never been heard from again. Okay? So it's not going to be possible for us to believe that account.
Okay, thank you. I do not know where she is.
This is utter bullshit. Obviously. So the police immediately put the bracelets on him, arrested him for the abduction of Nicole Lovell.
I think the police should look more into finding a body and try to interrogate the last person who saw her alive, who clearly left the scene.
Oh. Hey guys, now stand up and put your hands behind your back. You are under arrest for the abduction of Nicole Lovell.
Officers say that the new developments in the investigation led them to Eisenhauer.
With this arrest,
Man, and in the video where he's talking about, yeah, my goals, keep him out of reach, he looked so healthy. Mugshots really bring out the worst in people, don't they, bro? Damn. It's like, oh, he was a normal kid. See a mugshot. Oh my God. That's his true self.
Gators are very much in the midst of what.
If you want to know what kind of person you're with or you're going to get with, just have them go down to the police station, have them take one mugshot. If you like what you see, you're meant to be. If not, run.
Is a rapidly developing investigation.
In David's dorm room, police found a piece of paper with Nicole's address on it. They also tracked down his friend from campus that David admitted to going to see after leaving Nicole. This friend was a fellow student named Natalie Keepers. More like Natalie Levers. Who to tell me what's gonna happen? This girl is batshit, let me tell you. She couldn't even keep her own head straight with all the flip-flopping. You know, call her a fish because she's flip-flopping. Police got permission from Natalie herself to go through her phone. She probably would have wished she hadn't done that. And Natalie admitted, yeah, David had gone to her after being distraught after meeting up with Nicole. However, on her phone, police found, extremely disturbing messages between Natalie and David, these best buddies, the gruesome twosome. Natalie had texted David saying, I smell like cleaning supplies and I've been around a lot of blood. There's more, but we get the idea. Wow, I wonder what that could mean.
We know that you have information about this. What do you think they're pulling out of your phone?
She's died.
Where is she?
When confronted, Natalie said, yeah, you're right. Nicole is dead.
Natalie, how much are you involved?
Please, work for me to help him move her body.
She swore up and down that she wasn't involved in the actual killing and wasn't even there to witness it, but did say that David forced her to.
She looks criminal. That's what I'm telling you. See, mugshots, if you want to know who you with, take him down to your local police department. Just look at the officer, be like, excuse me, sir. I've been with this person for however long. And, we're really getting to that point in our relationship where we're wanting to take this next step forward. I would like a mugshot of him so I can see what his real is, or I would like a mugshot of her so I can see what her real is, whatever the case may be. Have it done because she looks shady as shit. Look at her.
To move Nicole's body. When speculating about a motive, Natalie said she, thought that David was worried he might have gotten Nicole pregnant. Yikes. Major. Big yikes. This big yikes.
She was worried, What if I slept with her? What if she ends up pregnant? He stabbed her. He killed her in the woods. The next day, he told me that he needed help.
I don't trust her.
Nicole's body was found on January 31st, down a ditch off Craig Creek Road, which was not too far from the university. She had been stabbed 14 times with a lethal stab to her neck. When confronted, David said he had no part in her murder. He stuck by the story that he left Nicole at her house that night and was with Natalie the rest of the night. No idea how she ended up there. Police, they went balls to the wall with this investigation.
I would.
They got the surveillance footage, they got the phone records, got the GPS that was in David's car. David was too stupid to even realize his car had a GPS and could be tracked where he had driven that very night, maybe to Craig Creek Road.
2 Virginia Tech students are now in custody in connection to the death of Nicole Lovell. Today, Blacksburg police announced the arrest of Natalie Keepers. The 19-year-old faces 1 felony count of improper disposal of a dead body and 1 misdemeanor count of accessory after the fact. Now, Keepers' arrest comes in addition to the arrest of David Eisenhauer.
So when police searched his car, they found not only that GPS, but they found blood. A shovel. Blood on the shovel. Blood in the trunk. Upon looking at the data from the GPS, it showed David at Nicole's place, at the scene of the crime off Craig Creek Road, and at a Walmart. With this information, they got surveillance footage from Walmart. Wouldn't you know it, there was David and Natalie on January 26th, around 4 p.m, buying a shovel, cleaning supplies, wipes, and gloves. So yeah, January 26th. This is all prior to Nicole's disappearance. Not suspicious at all. They were also seen at a fast food joint before the killing. The text messages matched up. It looked as though Natalie and David had hatched this plan together as early as the start of January. They'd gone through various ways to kill Nicole, and had even considered swapping her medication for cyanide pills. David's computer use showed he googled things like, how long does it take to burn a body? And how did Dexter get rid of his bodies?
Based on evidence collected to date, we have determined that Eisenhauer and Nicole were acquainted prior to her disappearance. Eisenhauer used this relationship to his advantage to abduct and then kill her.
These details have come to light following a 4-day search pursuing hundreds of phoned-in tips and social media leads with ground teams and even aerial drones provided by Virginia Tech. Police say the investigation is far from over.
It is also discovered that David and Nicole had met up once previously to the murder. In text messages, he was texting Nicole, threatening her, basically saying, you know, if she was to tell anybody about their relationship, he would do bad things. When police searched Natalie's dorm room, they found a gym bag. Inside the gym bag was another bag. Inside that bag was the Minions blanket missing from Nicole's bedroom. The events as told by Natalie is probably as close as we will ever get to the real truth here, because David has never said anything about what actually happened that night. It's believed that David and Natalie went to Walmart after dinner to buy the supplies. Natalie then says she was dropped off at her dorm, while David went to Nicole's. He picked her up around midnight, drove to Craig Creek Road, took her there for what, you know, they would say was a romantic little getaway between an 18-year-old and a 13-year-old. My God. Then he murdered her instead. Put her in the trunk of his car, drove them back to the university, met with Natalie, picked her up, then the pair of them drove back to Craig Creek Road, which doesn't make any sense at all. This is, again, Natalie's version, of events. His GPS does not show that, though I'm pretty sure Natalie would have been there the entire time, participating in the actual murder, not just helping cover it up like she says. In the investigation, police also recovered text messages David sent to an unknown person who's never really been identified, saying the text message reads something along the lines of original plan failed. What the plan was, what the information, who this guy was, nobody really knows. The only information is that he's a Pulaski man. Pulaski is like the next town over from Blacksburg. In Natalie's interrogation with the police, she maintained she did not take part in the actual murder, but only helped dispose and clean up the body and the...
That poor child was murdered by these pieces of shit. Like, this little girl didn't have enough shit fucking wrong with her that you two had to make her life just over? The anger that is welling up inside of me right now is ridiculous. Like I would, okay, I'm gonna tell you, there will never be a time where I'm like, yeah, I could be a cop. I'm gonna tell you, I couldn't, because right now I would be beaten. I would grab her by the back of the head and I would be beating her face off that table for what she did to that poor little girl. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if he's the one that did everything and she knew. I don't give a fuck. Judge me if you want. I don't care. She would not see the inside of a jail. I guarantee you that. Take that poor baby's life.
The aftermath. She confided she did not believe that David was going to go through with it. Otherwise, she said
It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. I would rather a person stop being a friend with me because they threatened to kill someone, and I was like, hey, no, whoa, and went and said something, and then they was just like, man, I ain't going to be your friend no more. Fine, fuck it. At least then I'm not going to have to hear about you wanting to kill someone. No, it don't fucking matter. Life is life. That's just not funny. Like, take life-threatening seriously. Like, if you've been around someone and they're your friend, you know when they're like so mad that they're just like, oh my God, I could kill them and just be done. And it's just like, it's just a turn of phrase. But if you've been around someone, like she's evidently been friends with him for a while, she should have known. She should have known.
would have stopped it. But she also said that David's involving made her feel special and part of a special little club.
He brought out a side of me that was psychopathic. He loved the fact that we were working together, and it made me feel loved, and it made me feel special. He made me feel like I was being a part of some like secret club that like only me and him were a part of, and it was the best club in the world.
I guess we have completely different ideas of what special clubs would try a chess club.
Bro, start you a clubhouse. Build you a treehouse. No boys allowed. What the fuck? I thought it was our special time. We got to kill and hide a child. He's gonna be my forever.
Next time, I mean, come on! Anywho, she also said David brought out, this, dark and twisted side to her, the psychotic side of her. I don't think she needs any help with that. Natalie Keepers would later call herself a sociopath in training, though, let's be honest here, Natalie, you're being kind of modest here. Both were charged and awaiting their own trials. Natalie, poor girl, she complained at her own bail hearing that the food in the jail, it wasn't, she couldn't handle it because she had celiac disease. She couldn't handle the gluten. Man, some people go through a real hard time.
Oh, poor thing.
What we know about Natalie is, again, she's not someone, you'd likely suspect in such a violent crime. She was born into a very straight-laced Christian family with twin brothers, her mother and her father. Her mother an X-ray technician, her father an aerospace engineer with NASA. Natalie Keepers, like David Eisenhauer, a native of Maryland. In fact, they only grew up 13 miles from each other. Natalie in Laurel, David in Columbia. That's likely how they became friends in Virginia Tech. She was in the top 15% of her class, an engineering student at Virginia Tech with aspirations to follow in her father's footsteps, who, again, worked at NASA. She performed in a number of musical theater plays at her high school, part of the editorial team as well, but she also had a history of mental health issues and was on a daily dosage of Prozac. Her trouble with mental health started as early as 8th grade with bullying, she would say. Then she started to self-harm. While in prison, she was examined by multiple experts. She was actually diagnosed with 6 different mental disorders.
Damn, now I just feel bad. Ignore everything I said earlier about her in the video. No, actually, no, don't ignore it. She's still a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck what her mental problems is.
Going for gold. Depersonalization, derealization disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, borderline personality disorder, dependent and schizotypal disorder, panic disorder, persistent depressive disorder. David, on the other hand, straight-laced. Never would have suspected it. Good student, star athlete, as you can see in the interview. Turns out, though, he was a real weirdo. Weird to the O. Classmates reported, he all-star track and field athlete, straight A student. One person classified him as a bit cocky.
I will personally not stop until I reach my peak performance. which could be anywhere.
Boo, you suck! The entire reasoning behind the murder is still vague at best. The prosecution would say, right, that David's motive was the exposure of his relationship with Nicole. Whether he knew she was of age before or after, hey, listen, nobody really knows. Regardless, David, dude, you suck so much. She's clearly a child. And I think he might just be a, wait for it, child predator. But he was worried their relationship might be
100%.
exposed and that he was worried she may be pregnant, which she was not at the time of her death. Natalie's reasoning and why she involved herself in this and why she wanted to be involved in this because it was something they'd been planning for about a month. Well, Natalie Keepers simply had an urge to kill. Of course, both simply blamed the other, saying they'd been manipulated again, lads.
Man.
On day 4 of his trial, David changed his plea from not guilty to no contest. I guess he figured he was well and truly up shit creek with all they had in him. He wouldn't have an arse in his trousers after the prosecution finished their case, so he decided to tap out. I could make a prison joke there, but I probably shouldn't.
Something's gonna be getting tapped.
We saw him.
Something's gonna be getting tapped. He ain't gonna be tapping up whenever Bubba come in there. Man. I hope you get it so bad in the boot, your liver goes to shit, bro. Fucking trash.
Visibly emotional for the first time in the case. He stared down to the floor, not making eye contact with anyone for several minutes.
That means he wouldn't admit anything but couldn't argue the evidence against him. That also means he waived his right to appeal.
I am sorry for the pain that my actions have caused Nicole Lovell and her family. It is my deepest regret, and I'm aware my actions have serious consequences. Nothing can ever undo what has been done, and for that, I am deeply, sincerely, and forever sorry.
Family members of Nicole Lovell spoke about how hard her loss has been for them. Her mother, Tammy Weeks Dowdy, says everything she sees reminds her of her daughter.
I go to bed at night hoping everything was a nightmare.
Outside the courthouse, she told 10 News that today did not give her closure.
I'm just numb right now. It's not real.
Nicole's father, David, says he now has PTSD and struggles with depression.
Just a horrible crime on her. It's a shame. And there's nothing that can happen in the schoolroom that will ever fix it.
Experts for the defense also said David was on the spectrum, which allowed him to be manipulated and coerced more easily by Natalie Keepers.
Mental health professionals testified that Natalie Keepers, who awaits a trial for being an accessory in this case, orchestrated the crimes, and Eisenhauer would not have wanted to kill Lovell without her influence.
I think she was the mastermind. I think she is the driver of the process. I think she has found somebody that she can manipulate.
The sentencing for Eisenhauer was carried out on June 2018, where he was sentenced to 50 years in prison, plus another 25 to be served on probation for first-degree murder, abduction, and concealing a dead body.
Hell yeah.
Judge, her actions in this case show that her release constitutes a danger to the public. And we would submit that she has earned her 45-year sentence, Judge.
Natalie's trial was shortly after, where she was found guilty and sentenced to 40 years for accessory before and after the fact and concealing a body.
Yeah!
After 40 years,
I
she was
love
placed
it.
on a 10-year
Love it.
probation.
I'm crying for your family every day. I'm so sorry. I wish I could have stopped it. I never intended for this to happen.
What a drama queen.
Right. I was getting ready to
December
say the same
2020,
fucking
Natalie
thing.
Keepers' appeal for a retrial was denied. Thankfully. Since Nicole's murder, her family's worked hard to help raise awareness to parents, about social media and internet use for kids and teens alike. Gone, sort of, are like the days of, kids being snatched off playgrounds. Now it's like internet kind of stuff, shenanigans. No good people on there. I always say that. Nobody on the internet is any good. All except me. I'm alright. Yeah, sort
Me
of.
too.
Thank you so much for watching.
Oh,
It
shit.
really means the world to me. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. It means the world to me that you have me here every Tuesday. 8:30 EST. unless something happens. Then it's as soon as I can get it up. All right, I really enjoyed today's video. That is so messed up, man. Do you think the girl was the mastermind? Like, you think she was pulling the kid's strings, or you think it was vice versa? All I know is that poor baby lost her life, and that makes me so angry. All right, but like I said, I really did enjoy today's video. It was a story that needed to be heard, you know. And if you enjoyed today's video as much as I did, please go down there and leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And while you're down there, if you want, go on over, slap that subscribe button, become part of the Built 5000 Nation. We do some crazy shit here. If you want to know when that crazy shit happens, ding that bell. It might work for you. It might not. But if it do, hop in on one of the premieres, go over in the live chat and let me know. Be like, hey, Bill, I got dinged. Leave a like and dip. That's all you got to do. As always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Man, I'm telling you, you want to know someone's true self, have them get a mugshot. You'll see everything. You'll see what they are.